Hey everybody, so a lot of people have wondered exactly what Bally's end of this whole deal regarding the Las Vegas Athletics, that's what they may call Las Vegas Athletics Ballpark, is going to look like. And they kind of fooled us at first because the idea initially was to have this, sleek kind of orb that looked like it was going to be partnered with the ballpark and design. In fact, the actual legislation called for something that was complementary in design to the ballpark. That's what one of the paragraphs said was to be. But complementary can take on a lot of different meanings. And then you have to dig down the legislation and realize that, hey, the ballpark inside can't have gambling. The ballpark inside cannot have a lot of activities that would point to gambling. But just a few feet outside the door, and it's Katie bar the door, literally. What they did in presenting what I'm about to talk to you about is create what, when it's built, and it's going to be built, all right, this isn't a fake, this is a real thing. When it's finished, and I believe it will be in phases, it will be the most densely packed development in Las Vegas history. That's right. You heard what I said. The most densely packed development in Las Vegas history. You would say more than Fashion Island? Yes. More than New York, New York? Yes. And I'm glad you thought of it if you really did. All right. This is incredible, and it's something that Las Vegas does need, because Las Vegas survives not just off gambling, but off the newness of things. Las Vegas has always been known as a city that changes itself. A long time ago, when I started covering CES Las Vegas in 2010, I even made a video about this. I called Las Vegas Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, the real Epcot. And you would say, well, Zinni, aren't you referring to that theme park at Disney World? Yes, I am. It's not really, and it wasn't supposed to be a theme park. If you remember, or to be honest, are old enough to remember Walt Disney when he was really alive, you probably saw this really cool video presentation that Mr. Disney made of Epcot, saying that, among other things, Epcot would be a showcase for American industry, always 25 years ahead of its time, trying new technologies and new approaches before they were generally accepted into common urban development society. Well, Las Vegas really is that. That's Las Vegas, okay? You can look around and look at how, with the involvement of the late Sheldon Adelson and Steve Wynn, Las Vegas transformed itself when it needed to. And now Las Vegas needs an extra shot in the arm because of Trump tariffs, because of overhyped costs for people running the facilities that didn't figure out how to say to the government, hey, we need some subsidy help. Or so instead they would jack up the prices on people. We call it gouging. Now we're in a new phase. Sports tourism is a thing. People travel not just to see their favorite teams, but to plan their whole vacations around the event. And Las Vegas was a little late to the party, but there's no place on earth better situated to take advantage of sports tourism than Las Vegas. And boy, has it bet big on it, and the bet has paid off, but it's only just starting. What you're about to see here, what we're going to discuss, this development right here is absolutely incredible. And I wrote that Bally's will save Las Vegas here. Now let me show you the rendering without, the naming over it that I put there. And so you can get an idea of why I'm saying what I'm saying. take a look at this image. Well, actually, you did. Let me go right back to it and just simply go with this one. I wanted to go with the one without the lettering, but it's okay. This, you would say, looks like a mosh. It looks like some sort of cartoon where scale is exaggerated, where the hotels aren't as big as they look like they're going to be, where everything's just a little bit off. And actually, you're right, because it's really meant to see, for them to say, it's called a concept, what they intend to jam pack on 36 acres of land. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, that's not a lot of space, I'll get to that in a second, because you made that mistake before. It's a lot of space, and it's enough. But the question is, what's Bally saying about this? What's their words? Their words went like this. Bally's Corporation today announced plans for Bally's Las Vegas. Actually, it was yesterday. A transformative new entertainment resort destination set to rise on the iconic Las Vegas Strip at the former site of the Tropicana Las Vegas. The groundbreaking project will share a 35-acre campus with a new Las Vegas Athletics. Wow! Oakland Major League Baseball ballpark, creating one of the most striking developments in the city's modern history. The project is being submitted for entitlements to Clark County. That means eventually a right to build, right? They have the development agreement already out of the way. So it's just a matter of just saying, hey, look, can we just go ahead and build this now? And Clark County will say yes. At any rate, says the project is being submitted for entitlements and is expected to start next year. Working in collaboration with LLL, and LLL stands for LLL actually has a name, but it doesn't say what LL stands for, folks. Oh, Jones Lang LaSalle. Wait a minute, this is Jones Lang LaSalle. Holy cow, this is Jones Lang LaSalle. Wait a second, folks, time out. All right, you don't know who Jones Lang LaSalle is. Jones Lang LaSalle is a real estate company that was originally started by Roger Staubach. That's right. Roger Staubach, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks in NFL history, who I've had the pleasure of actually seeing play in person. Roger Staubach sold his interest in what's in the Staubach company to create Jones Lang LaSalle. Staubach cleared over $600 million. Little factoid for you. Maybe Roger Staubach be at the groundbreaking, okay? But that JLL is Jones Lang LaSalle. I could not think of a better real estate organization to have involved in this. Jones Lang LaSalle means one thing: get her done. That's it. All right. So I want to make that clear. Anyone who comes up with a snide remark with respect to Jones Lang LaSalle automatically, listen to me, look at me, automatically reveals they have no freaking idea what they're talking about. Okay. None. All right. So let's continue. This facility and this drawing is a fitting of what they intend to build, and they say it in the language they put out. It says, for example, that they intend to have a mix of, well, envision it as a vibrant hub for international travelers and regional baseball fans alike. Bally's Las Vegas will showcase a curated mix of dining concepts, flag retail, and immersive experiences. The project aims to meet the growing demand for integrated entertainment while positioning Las Vegas as the ultimate stage for professional baseball and large-scale global tourism. And Jones Lang LaSalle will lead retail and dining sourcing efforts for the project, ensuring a mix of global brands and local favorites that reflect the city's unique character. Michael Hirschfeld, vice chairman of Jones Lang LaSalle, is leading the global leasing team. And as well, he said this: Las Vegas is one of the most important markets for food and beverage, entertainment, and retail in the United States. They extend hours of operation in the market and yield some of the highest sales per unit in the country. And so this is incredible. I could see Las Vegas becoming a site for a different kind of World Series, where Las Vegas is the venue, even if both teams are from different cities, just like what the NFL does with the Super Bowl, okay, moving it around. But this facility would allow a person to stay on base the site where baseball is. Let's really just understand what we're talking about here, okay? You could stay on site for baseball here, and you could stay on site and go to a baseball game, then go to restaurants and shops. You can, if you want to see a play or something like that, that might be a possibility here. I wouldn't doubt it. It would be a very highly self-contained city, entertainment city within a city. Now the question is, will the A's benefit from all of the revenue gained with, around it, not just within the ballpark itself? And I think there is a good possibility that could happen, even though technically it hasn't been announced that it would. I'll get to that later, all right? But my point is this. This has got to be thought of as one of the most exciting developments underway in Las Vegas, not named Guitar Hotel, because the Guitar Hotel will be just down the street of the Strip. Fucking enormous, excuse my language. And so people will fly to Las Vegas to see two venues. Well, yes, Bally's and the A's ballpark, number one, because of the A's, and they'll go down the street to stay at the Guitar Hotel. Maybe even they'll stay at the Guitar Hotel and then go back and forth. This will be the new reason to come to Las Vegas. And you would say, what about Sphere? That's right, on top of Sphere. Not everybody has been to Sphere. But in this really quick internet environment where you feel like you've seen Sphere because of videos without having actually been to Sphere, something else is needed. This, folks, is that something else, and it includes one big thing that guarantees a flow of people to it. And you know what that one thing is? Sports, the athletics. Not only just the athletics, but the other types of sports that can be done in that facility. Las Vegas has already played host to a huge boxing match. Why not there? Why not two boxing matches? One at Allegiant and the other there. There's a lot of flexibility here. There's a lot of partnering that could come into play here. This gives Las Vegas a gigantic leg up on many different cities. Cements Las Vegas' position as the convention capital of the United States, if not the world, and cements Las Vegas' position as the entertainment capital of the United States, if not the world. That's what this does and will do when it's finished. I am that excited about it. Now let's talk about the scale issue here, all right? The scale issue you can see right here. And I have to say one thing before I get to the scale issue. No, it's about Oakland. I'll save that for later. Here is, I'm going to add this to the stage, all right? This is the scale, all right? And so that you can see it. What you're looking at right now is the area just across the street from the Tropicana, which is torn down now. It's gravel, soot, concrete going in, all that, right? This is a Google Earth perspective. Now, I'm showing you this for what may be an obvious reason. First of all, let's go over here, and right over here. And I want you to see that's Excalibur, and also Las Vegas, New York in particular. New York shares part of its property with T-Mobile over here. But look at the urban design way that New York has these different types of buildings representing New York crammed into it. Now, that facade will wind up over here. The ballpark will be over here. I'm circling. It's only 9 acres of 36 acres, roughly. The rest, this gives an opportunity for the ballpark to literally be surrounded by development here and built. Now, I believe the entryway for the ballpark will be open. I don't believe you're going to see that building that totally, encloses the ballpark and makes it so the ballpark can't be seen from the street. That, I believe, will go away. the concept implies a cramming to the point where literally these buildings are shielding or hiding the ballpark, right? And I don't believe that will entirely be the case. It will be an opening where you can see the ballpark from the street. It has to be. So, but look at this, all right? All of this, there's a lot of space here. So those of you who are thinking, well, 2 hotels and 3,000 rooms, it can't fit that. Well, what are these? These are 2 hotels, all right? And the Tropicana fit about that. So no, it can fit it. It's all here. There is enough space to do that. But guess what? There's never been a ballpark as part of it. Now this time there is. This time there is a ballpark. It's a lot of urban stuff that cramming in there, and I believe it's going to be quite a successful, quite successful. I am really impressed with this proposal, and that they were daring enough. And I'd like to be able to talk with someone at Bally's to find out how they arrived at this concept rather than the original one, which was a lot less daring. This is daring, but it also reflects, bottle blonde down the street, New York next door, and its urban design. Now, I made a comment about how I thought the Athletics might benefit from this. Let me pick up on that. As you know, there are more baseball players than ever that are making really high salaries. I mean, super high. Shoji Ohtani, $700 million. That's almost $1 billion for one player. All right. How do you pay for that? Well, you're looking at one way of doing it that will rapidly become the norm. Being able to draw revenue from all of these development sources within the development for the baseball organization. Now, does that mean that Bally's would have some sort of interest in the A's in terms of, controlling or sharing interest? Could be. It's logical. But I can't imagine Mark Bedane looking at this and saying, hey, you know what? I'd like a piece of that revenue. Can we make a deal? Because he knows how baseball is changing. And he knows how much the Athletics need that money in order to get the top players. They will get the top players in the world here. This will be a different ballpark presenting the ability to gain more money than the Athletics have ever enjoyed controlling in its entire history. Now, let me say something about Oakland, because some of you would say, hey, Zenny, didn't you say that the Athletics should just simply leave to Las Vegas because nothing's going to get done in Oakland? And my answer is, yeah, I did say that. And what's the proof? Nothing is, the proof is simply this, folks. Nothing is being done in Oakland. There's no effort, zero. For the first time in Oakland's history, Oakland does not care by action to even try and lure back Major League sports at a time when sports tourism is now a recognized industry, and sports events from table tennis to female bodybuilding to the World Series and the Super Bowl and everything in between, like boxing, are highly sought after. You have a boxing match with 70,000 people. That's what we just had recently. A boxing match, 70,000. That Dana White pulled that off. 71,000 to be more exact, to be more precise. Okay, this is an incredible time to be involved in the sports industry as a rights owner. Rights owner are people like, well, the Major League Baseball, which own the right, for example, to the World Series, or the NFL that owns the right to the Super Bowl and the team logos and everything else and so on. This is a great time to create a sport if you believe that sport will be popular. And digital media makes that possible. But for Oakland, to basically turn a blind eye to all of this and to rest its entire marketing effort on the actions of one organization that's so small, it barely rates a mention in any sports publication, news publication around the country, is shameful. And I'm talking about, I'm not putting down the ballers, but I'm simply realistically explaining to you that the way a city that is accustomed to having sports teams does it is it says, we have a sports commission and we go after these different teams, and we're happy that the Ballers won their championship. And by the way, we have the Roots in operation, but we're also working to bring in other sports teams and have this great nexus of sports activity and rebuild Oakland as the sports city it has been known for. You don't hear that today. It's a sign that the people who are the leaders of Oakland have given up. All right, they'll say, well, there are more important things, and this is what Oakland's problem has been. Sports is economic development. There is nothing more important than economic development, bringing money into your city. You understand? Nothing, and that can't be underscored. Oakland lost that equation. Oakland doesn't get it. Las Vegas does. I had a friend of mine tell me today something that I know from looking at Oakland and being in Oakland digitally every single day, that Oakland is known for one thing: crime. That's it. And it's so beaten down the residents that they literally can't imagine a better city, a city that's actually developed, let alone putting together renderings like we're seeing here in Las Vegas. You show them something, they say, oh, we don't have the money, when in point of fact, tax increment financing is a wonderful tool to use that can capture wealth from new development. We used to use it. This group doesn't know how. They are literally not just the gang that can't shoot straight, but the gang that doesn't want to shoot at all. And when I say shoot, I mean do development, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Not even have incentives to draw. They'll say, we have to cut the crime first. You got it backward. You have to have the activity that brings people in, that creates more security, that then causes reductions in crime because there are people who are wanting to be a part of the party, not cause trouble. There's security people well paid, police people well paid, able to do their jobs and to move forward. But Oakland has literally scared itself into freeze mode. It's not building at all. The Oakland that many envisioned in 2019 is gone. In Oakland, where we had a new Battery SF. Battery would have been the Oakland version of what's in San Francisco, which is kind of a party hotel kind of thing, started by or for the tech community. Gone, dead. Might, not even thought of anymore. And the person who promoted the idea and his wife don't even raise the issue anymore or the possibility, and didn't want to say they gave up in Oakland. I understand their position. Okay, wholeheartedly. We've had disagreements about that off camera, and I respect what they're saying, but the bottom line is Oakland's conditions stopped them from wanting to build what would have been a fantastic facility if Oakland were willing to put up enough money for security, to improve the neighborhood, to have money so that you can cover the insurance costs, which is the other really big problem in Oakland regarding businesses. The big problem is that businesses of different types are being priced out because the insurance cost is high. And then with respect to restaurants, you got health inspectors from the county coming through. Yeah, I said just like the county coming through. And I say like that because they don't act like they represent Oakland, let alone the county. They act like they're just trying to put you out of business. But they're going through and saying, you want to start a restaurant in Oakland? Well, we're going to go through and we're going to check off everything you need to do so we can make some money for the county. And then you pay and then you start it. Well, I'm serious. This is an Oakland problem. And yet Oakland expects restaurateurs, known, to bring restaurants to Oakland with that kind of insurance climate. That's stupid. And yet Oakland has tax increment financing it can use, if it chooses to help pay those insurance costs, to work with the insurers that are providing these insurances and make deals with them. That's economic development, but Oakland doesn't do that sort of thing anymore. The people that do economic development, you know what they do? They do analysis. They do these reports. That's not economic development. That's somebody you hire a consultancy to do. If you have somebody in-house to do it, fine, but that's not and should not be the only thing you do. Oakland still, to this day, does not have a true good economic development strategy. Nothing. Its strategy is to sit on its hands and say, we have a strategy. Give me a break. It's not there. So the Las Vegas A's became just that because Oakland literally pushed them out. It priced them out. Shane Tao tried to make them pay a ton of money, saying, I'll use this money to help balance my budget, when in point of fact, the real problem was this type of awful strategy that was focused only on housing and not on any kind of development that's revenue generating, that produced housing at a time it was needed for affordable housing, but they weren't building it. They weren't building it. They weren't building it. And then put a lot of homeless people on the street, which did what? Jack up service costs and to levels never seen before in Oakland. And yet when Oakland needed to have enough money to house people, it didn't get it. It kept running to Washington rather than doing what we used to do, using tax increment financing to pay for the new affordable housing. That's what we used to do. All right. We've got it so backward. It's nuts. We are in such a bad shape that just the mere, rehabilitation of a park gains headlines and say, oh, great. And I'm glad that Oakland District 7 Councilmember Ken Houston got that off the ground. But my point is, it should be part of a larger picture as opposed to the larger picture. All right. And that's the problem today, folks. Oakland is so myopic. And I'll tell you about the people who run it, not us. Oaklanders are waiting for people to do something, and the ones who aren't waiting are doing one thing. They're moving. All right. At some point, this has got to stop. And it shouldn't be, well, it stops when the city declares bankruptcy. No, it stops when it should be obvious to anybody that, first of all, you're getting a check from the city that has multiple accounts for you to pay because of all these general obligation bonds it floated that rest on you. The old way of thinking by, as I understand it, former Governor Jerry Brown, I'm not going to say who I got it from, said this, because Jerry said this recently from what I was told, that under redevelopment, he said, well, the city was using redevelopment money to pay extra salaries to the unions. Yeah, Jerry, they were. Those are people that deliver services for Oakland. Redevelopment allowed us, because it wasn't a lot of money in total what he's talking about, but Jerry doesn't know that. What redevelopment allowed us to do was basically offload those costs onto tax increment financing so they never hit the general fund, and yet they were paid for so that people had good jobs, great working conditions in a city that needed better economic development and produce, let's face it, dangerous conditions for a number of workers to work in. That's called bad working conditions, folks. You don't complain, well, oh, they're a union. Unions exist to protect the rights of workers. So if you complain about a union, you're stupid. All right, you're just straight up stupid. Stop complaining about unions. Start getting into urban development. Urban economics is smart stuff. There's too much stupid thinking and stupid talking around. All right, you should be tired of it. Tell these folks to stop it, put on their brains, and learn how cities actually work. If they don't want to learn, have them talk to me. I will teach them and you. This has got to stop. All right. Oakland should be the great developer. Now, am I saying that Las Vegas is a nirvana because this is happening? No, because Las Vegas is the other side of the coin. It has gigantic service problems. Look at its homeless population that it doesn't address. And it also has the money. Unlike Oakland saying it doesn't have the money, Las Vegas does have the money to do it. It does. It just doesn't steer it in the proper direction. If you're going to bring all these people in, expecting them to spend luxury money, which really you shouldn't be doing anyway because you're gouging them, at least funnel that to the services like education and affordable housing and housing assistance and rental assistance and food assistance, and make sure that the people at the bottom can be healthy enough to take the jobs that are needed to be done in Las Vegas, rather than them being depressed and feeling like they have no future or anything else. That's bad, folks. And for us to have this kind of urban economy in existence is a tantamount insult to our abilities as Americans. And the president ought to be ashamed of himself for allowing this situation and pushing it and inviting it to happen and dividing people just because he wants power. Enough of this. Donald Trump has got to get his act together and act like an American president and fix this society from the standpoint of encouraging urban development, encouraging the redevelopment of the social safety net, backing the Affordable Care Act and affordable health care, and allowing us to rebuild that great system we had where, hey, look, maybe you didn't get a deal here or there, you're out of money, but you had a way of getting some money to maintain a roof over your head and go on and create that next big organization. Don't you think people would be intelligent enough to figure that out today? Don't you? I mean, what is wrong? What is going on here? Is it drugs? Are people doing drugs at work to the point where our IQs have gone south for beyond the winter and maybe into next year and the next year and the next year after that? Is that what's going on here? Has our society intellectually crumbled to the point where, rigorous thinking or even just, reasoned process thinking is no longer expected or possible? Is that what's going on in our country? If it is, we need to put a stop button and say, hey, you know what? We need to get our act together in a few simple ways. All right. And that simple way is you make a plan, you implement the plan. And if people are at work having drug problems, help them get over the drugs and say, look, you know what? As far as drugs, we have to curb it a little bit because it's quite literally curbing our productivity if indeed that is what is happening. All right. I don't mean to come off and sound like a narc, but what I'm saying is this. There's an old saying that a friend of mine, Alberto Roca, that I knew from when I was representing Oakland Mayor Lee Harris, said. He said, Zinni, if you like what you're getting, keep on doing what you're doing. Do you like what you're getting? All right. So if the answer is no, why do you keep doing it? Stop doing it. Simple thing. Hey, put the brakes on, stop doing it, move forward, and let us build a society that will make everybody happy, that's sustainable. All right? That is sustainable. This is not an authoritarian society. You don't want to know what's going on here? I will tell you what's happening. I want you to see my full face when I tell you this. What's happening is very simple. You have a lot of people who don't understand how to pull the levers of their own government, pull the levers of the law to solve their problems because they're too busy, getting high and checking out and finding psychedelics and everything else. And they're not dealing with asking other people and saying, hey, look, let's help each other and bind together. It's more than reading something online. It's taking action. And a lot of people feel like they're helpless because they're isolated. The internet has isolated them. They say, hey, what can we do? We can help each other and work together. That's what we can do. And that's what we have to do. We have to do for our own survival. And we're not doing it. And that's why you have so many people acting out at unprecedented levels. It's not necessary. If you believe in the Lord as I do, it's not necessary. We shouldn't get to a point where someone has to get online or go around the country saying mean things to get attention. Okay? That's wrong. And where we need to be is where we were before. People really interested in the next tech coming along, the next restaurants, the next big thing, and they were able to do it healthily, enjoyably, and with love and respect for each other. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's why it's so important that facilities like this one are built. You want to know why, folks? This gives us hope for the future. It says, yes, we can. When Oakland doesn't put something like this at, say, the airport, yeah, I just said it, because Oakland Airport needs the passengers. Look, Oakland Airport went down 20% in 1 year in traffic. 20%, folks. Even with that stupid name change that I said wouldn't work, right? It didn't work. All right. It just got us legal fees that we've basically been paying because the city and county of San Francisco rightly hauled us to court. This is stupid stuff. Oh, and don't get me started about the Oakland Boca oversized terminal. Okay. You have people pushing that, oh, well, it's a coal terminal. It's not a coal terminal. Any idiot knows what a coal terminal is versus a bulk terminal, period. You have all these people think they know economic development. They don't know blank from blank. I said it just like that. All of this is screwing up Oakland, but Las Vegas is pricing itself out at the very time when it can gather the growth that Oakland is losing and treat it better by providing housing, health care, affordable goods and services, and moving forward. To the extent Las Vegas doesn't do that, it's not going to grab the brass ring. Right now, Las Vegas it's about to close its grip on it, but it can very easily let it slip. Okay, let's like that. Okay, Stephen Hill, you know what I'm talking about because I know you're going to see this. You know what I'm talking about. Don't let that happen. Don't let Las Vegas fall off the wagon, drunk on the idea that it can survive by gouging people and not paying attention to those who have less rather than those who have more. No. Las Vegas has got to get its act together in that area. And I believe this, along with the ballpark, is a fantastic start. It's exciting, buzzworthy, beautiful, intricate, detailed, rich. I love it. I look forward to your comments on this, folks. What say you? You want to make a special video and send it to me? I'll put it up. Language. All right. And subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. Hit that and like this. Hit that bell and bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com, CESLasVegasNews.com, NFL News by Zenny62.com, and ZennyReport.com, and Zenny62blog.com, as well as Zenny62, as well as OscarMovieNews.com and San Diego Comic Con News.com. All right, we'll see you. Thank you.